In the world of chess, Viswanathan Anand is nothing short of a king, the man who inspired a generation to sit up and take note of the game. It has been an incredible journey from the sun-drenched streets of Chennai to the very pinnacle of the game on the global stage. Anand is still in prime form at 56, with a brilliant second place finish at the recent Tata Steel India Rapid. As an author, his new book, Lightning Kid, maps out 64 lessons, one for every square on the board, from his life and career. The original Lightning Kid, who shocked the world by playing at a pace most couldn't even think of, joined the week for a chat about the book, the influence of AI and social media on young chess players, about Gukesh, Pragnananda, and others, and more. Welcome, Vishisa. You have written several books on chess for adults. Now, this book, Lightning Kid, it's for the younger generation. So, tell us about your views on this adaptation of Mind Master and your experience writing this.
Let's kind of give it to write it from the perspective of a younger audience, with maybe clearer lessons that I learned, or simply sharing experiences. I mean, it's not like I have a solution for something, but maybe it'll be nice for them simply to know what I went through. And maybe they'll be able to take something from that. I mean, in a way, each one can learn their own lesson. And that was kind of the idea of the book. Also, to be a little bit more lighthearted, and hopefully, we managed to communicate that.
Was it difficult for you to actually adapt this book for the younger audience? Was it difficult or challenging for you?
Not at all. In a sense, I've been lucky over the last 14 years to have my son growing up, and then
Uh,
um, I think it also gives you a little extra perspective. Definitely being a father um, is life-changing experience. I mean, I'm not claiming universal expertise, but um, I kind of came back to that. I mean, to my own childhood and what I learned. Of course, teenagers are rebellious. That's a fact. But there are questions I get asked often. In fact, there's one interesting question which they ask: "What would you tell your younger self?" And in a way, I guess what this can be even slightly more universal. And I thought what I would like them to take away from this book is that whatever you're doing is no doubt very important. And if you succeed, good for you. If you fail or it doesn't work and you feel like everything's come to an end, I mean, I think you should care about the things you do. You should do it with intensity and passion. But in 6 months, you'll feel better. And hopefully, they'll take a little bit of that sense away as well.
so, in the book, you write about how your openings were drawn from books such as chess openings, and then you had chess fundamentals. So now you have database software that will give you like a million of options, opening options. So honestly, how much is too much, especially for youngsters now?
Um, I would I would put it this way. I mean, every generation kind of feels there's too much information in chess. Let's keep that thought in mind. Um, Nowadays, you can learn very fast. You can improve very fast. You have a personalized coach in your laptop, and you can ask a lot of questions. It's much easier to improve. The problem, of course, is that everybody does it, and then it's an arms race. And nowadays, the new situation is it's necessary for them to understand all the focus is on understanding what the answer is. The correct answer is given to everyone now. But how you show yourselves to be different from others is to work very hard to understand the answer, understand the details, why that answer was given, and how it applies to other situations. So, um, I think this access to technology is what allows chess to become a global sport, allows chess to spread in every country because we all have ease of. You're not lucky to be born in one country anymore. Wherever you're born, you have a fair chance with these
Okay.
things. But at the same time, this doesn't give you an advantage. It's a tool, and you have to learn how to use it effectively.
So, what specifically would you tell the younger chess players about social media, especially because it wasn't there when you were growing up?
Yes. So with social media, I would just say that it's on a huge scale. Basically, every single person has been given the tools to let everyone know what they think of every subject, roughly. And you'll have to, uh, just like once upon a time, my parents told me, look, there are people who aren't necessarily nice. There are people who aren't necessarily going to play by our rules, who aren't necessarily going to play fair, and you just have to learn to deal with it. But to point that out and warn you. I think nowadays we have to tell our youngsters again, and I suspect they figure it out very fast, because always they're faster than their parents in such new technology. Um, you have to learn which opinions to ignore, which opinions are useful, which feedback is constructive, and they'll just have to learn that, and figure it out. Because once again, you're getting something very useful, which is the ability to hear 100, maybe 1,000 diverse viewpoints. But you have to know how to see immediately which are the 800 and the 900 you can ignore, and which are the ones which are actually very useful and meet some standard. Finally, how people say things, how they say it accurately, how they say it without bias. Those are the most credible people, and you have to learn the skill of spotting that. Um, and also the effect it has on you. Um, if you just drop yourself into it. I think I can compare with some of the experiences I narrate in the book, where what other people said hurt me until I understood to put it in the right perspective. Understood that their criticism might mask their own feelings, and you have to cope with it. And there are many examples in the book where I say, if I want to prioritize and concentrate on one tournament, then during that, for some time before and after that tournament, I would not go online at all. I mean, I'm talking online of 20 years ago, but nonetheless, I wouldn't go online at all, because it is important to be focused, not to have people upset you or things like that. And I think maybe they'll be able to take that and apply it on the scale needed today.
Got it. So, you recently mentioned that AI is now the coach's coach and advise children not to rely solely on this ready-made AI answers. So, how has your own personal routine changed or evolved compared to the 80s era or the 90s era? Plus, how should FIDE balance the use of engines in training versus maintaining the human element? I mean, how do you strike the balance here?
Um, I mean, you cannot compare how we worked in the 80s to now. And again, we have evolved slowly over the years. I mean, there have been decades in between for us to get used to change slowly. Um, I I focus on understanding, not information, but understanding, not having the right answers and knowing what's the right move, but understanding why it is so that even if I forget, I can reconstruct. And the chances are that my intuition for the positions keep improving, and the move which occurs to me is better. I focus on that. I'm not sure it's really FIDE's job to tell people how to use engines, but we strive for spectator friendly formats, and in general, um, the formats that people enjoy the most these days are slightly faster. So classical chess is getting faster, and there are a lot of rapid and blitz formats as well, each for a different occasion. But I feel, in a sense, that evolves along with. I mean, people also don't necessarily want to see a game played by two engines or just executed by two humans, and the formats will construct that.
So, like you said, chess has moved on from a niche hobby to a mainstream spectacle. Like you say in the book, it is more of a spectator sport now. So, is there anything about this celebrity version of chess that worries you for the players?
No, it has become easier to present the game. We have more technology, more graphics. You're able to point to the square and explain the pieces movement and show the engine line and bring this extra information. And suddenly it demystifies the game because more and more people are able to enjoy it. Even people who are casual observers enjoy this. And they come away with the feeling that, yeah, I understood something of the game. I mean, when I watch other sports, I would say I necessarily understand everything they're showing me, but I understand enough of what happened to enjoy the event. And the same is happening with chess.
Okay, does it add any pressure to the players, pressure on the players? Do you feel so?
uh, do you want your sport to be played privately hidden in a dark room? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. I think you just
Yeah.
have to adjust.
So, what are your thoughts on this Total Chess World Championship, which combines fast classic, rapid, and blitz chess?
It's an innovative idea. We're going to try it out this year. And we're very excited to have this partnership with Norway Chess. I mean, they have committed to uh, taking this forward and having multiple events. And we, again, as I said, we want to evolve classical chess into a faster version of it, this total chess thing, or fast classical. And we're going to try it out, see how it works. And if it grows the game, then that's the mission. Well, then that's mission accomplished.
So, as FIDE deputy president, what is your goal now? Is it professionalizing the circuit or expanding into new territories like Africa or South America?
I think, yes, chess is growing everywhere in differing speeds, different things, but they're very different countries. And we don't really uh, choose between popularizing it here or there. In general, FIDE is a big umbrella, and there are people working on multiple goals. Um, these days, the world is converging. Everyone watches chess on their phones or their tablets, and this doesn't matter where you are in the world. So whatever good event happens in one place, people can enjoy it from everywhere. That is probably the biggest change. That it's so much easier to broadcast a chess game today than 20 years ago. You know, not to repeat, but this happened during the pandemic. It exploded then. Very good thing. But we continue to work on increasing prices for the women's game, make it much more attractive for women to join in, and continue to work to promote chess everywhere.
So, we are looking at a potential World Cup championship match in Chennai this year between two of your awards, let's say Gukesh and Pragnananda. So, how does it feel? And if it actually comes to that, who would you put your money on?
Uh, it's, I mean, you're taking a 1 versus 7 bet. Um, I think, let's see. I believe Prag is quite determined. He's going to work very hard for this, and if that happens, then I don't even know what they will go through. I mean, they grew up together. They studied in the same school. I mean, it's not even
Yeah.
like they're from different cities in the same country. They just grew up in the same neighborhood, saw each other every day. It's going to be it'll be a very intense match. I don't have any predictions. Ask me once it happens.
But does your heart say, oh,
Ask me when it happens. I mean, I'm not. I'm thinking more of Prag's odds of getting there rather than what happens next.
so in the ongoing Tata Steel Masters 2026, both of them, in fact, Pragnananda Gukesh, they had a slow start, let's say. So some experts have pointed out that it might be the mental fatigue from a packed 2025 schedule. Your thoughts?
Um, I think some swings are normal. I mean, first of all, his performance in the first half of the year till the end of the roughly the grand chess tour, and once it became clear that his lead in the circuit was huge, um, that performance was also just unbelievable. He was the best player of the year for that stretch. In the second half, he has slowed down a bit. it's not unheard of that in the build up to a big event, you kind of your thoughts are always partially about that. Um, I'm not going to read too much into this or that. Finally, the person who will win the candidates in Cyprus, who is the one who hits the ground running and starts. For me, the score after 3 rounds is probably more relevant than what happened the previous year. But Prag is playing at a high enough level that if he raises his game, he has every right to qualify.
So, which is a Kukesh, Pragnananda, Arjun are established names now. We also have good players like Raunak and then Divya Deshmukh and a couple of others in the women's circuit as well. There are young talents like Ilamparthi and Ethan Was. So, who do you think the world should watch out for among these players in the coming years?
In a sense, I'm also watching out for all of them. It's not yet clear. Pranav Venkatesh, Pranav Anand having great moments. And the names you mentioned, Ilamparthi, Raunak. Um, and since we're not looking only for one result or one qualification event, but rather a steady progression upwards, which will hopefully be reflected in some rating list and so on. I think they're all more or less in reasonable shape.
Okay, great. So now coming back to you, for a semi-retired player, you're still sharp, as evident from your brilliant second place finish at the Tata Steel Rapid, competing against players, let's say, almost half your age. So how do you keep the fire in you alive?
Um, Look, I worked. I knew the event was coming, and in a way, accepting the event gave me the motivation to work on chess. I also benefit from the fact that these 3 tournaments came together. So Jerusalem was a kind of slow start. Um, then the Grand Chess Tour, sorry, the Global Chess League, I enjoyed a lot. Got to play a lot of things, and in a sense, when I came to Kolkata, I was already. It didn't feel so long ago that I had played, which is what's happening to me in other years. So I'm going to try and play more this year as well. At least practice more in the off time. I'm still not going to go back to a full year or something, but play a little bit more. And I was very happy with my rapid performance, and I think it's something to build on.
Which is a 50 years down the line. How do you think the world will remember you? As the winner of 5 world titles or as a lightning kid who inspired a generation to follow you into the world of chess?
I think both. Why should I choose? Both. uh, I and also I don't think of my legacy a lot. I want to. One of the things I understand, and hopefully the book has made clear, is that you also have to enjoy the moment. You have to live in the moment. I'm excited at the time I spend at home with my family, the time I get to catch up with friends. As I mentioned, these are the benefits of a lighter schedule. Uh, I You have to enjoy life because life goes by very quite fast. So you have to enjoy life also.
You have mentioned about simple moments now. So, are you finding more time now for astrophotography? And hope the Vishy Anand 4538 is still around.
I think the asteroid is probably safe. um, and I still read up on material. I mean, I'm not taking that many photos these days. In fact, what I'm longing for is to go on holiday somewhere where there are really dark skies and I can enjoy that. But I still read up on astronomy a lot. I mean, there's so many probes and things zooming around the solar system that you always get some interesting news. Um, and you also get to, and here actually social media is a wonderful thing. I mean, in astronomy, social media is very peaceful and non-controversial, and they tell you amazing insights. So that's what I wanted to say. Social media can also be very useful. When I read about astronomy fans, I read about what they think. I find I learn a lot, and you think, I never knew that, and then you can look it up, and that's also a great privilege.
Vijay sir, thank you for your time. Thanks a lot. Thank
Thank you.
you.
Always a pleasure. Thanks. Bye.